Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining me for this review of the Berghaus Air 800 Nightfall. I did a review a couple of weeks ago on the Berghaus 600 Air, and that video did rather well. So when I saw its big brother, the Air 800, in Go Outdoors Shrewsbury, I thought it best that I take a look around and share my thoughts on this 8-man tent. It's currently for sale in Go Outdoors for £829, but Go Outdoors are known for having sales about as regularly as DFS.
Must end this weekend at DFS.
So you can expect that price to change. Also expect to find offers on the optional extras for this tent to be bundled in, such as a footprint, the carpet and the porch. This is an 8-man vis-a-vis layout tent. So you have a living area in the middle of the tent and 2 doors at either side, and then at the ends of the tent you have the bedrooms. The waterproof or hydrostatic head rating is 6,000mm. This is quite high. Most family tents you will find are around 4,000mm, so this should be very waterproof. Here is one of the air valves. These are very good quality valves, and these are what are used to pump the tent up. Essentially you would lay the tent out, peg it out at each corner, and then simply connect a hand pump or an electric pump to each of these 5 valves to inflate the tent and pitch it. So no messing about with fiberglass poles for this one. And that, in my opinion, is the big plus for Air Tent, the ease of putting them up. You don't have to mess about putting poles together and slipping them through the sleeves in the tent. You simply peg it out and pump it up. A system that I'm sure has saved many a marriage.
We don't need to get divorced.
On the end of the tent here, you'll notice a vent at the top, which you can peg out using the guy lines. It's not being done here just as this is on display, but those top 2 guide lines can be pulled out to open up that vent a little further. It has this vent at either end by the bedrooms, and it helps to keep a little airflow and keep condensation to a minimum. Down the side here you can see the 2 windows. One of the windows is actually in a door. That is sort of the secondary door, main door being on the other side that we'll have a look at in a minute, with a little porch on it which helps keeps the weather off when you're coming in and out of the tent. And here's that side with the main door with the little porch over the top. As you can see, there's 2 windows. One of them is in the door and one of them is just on the side of the tent. The main door has a net as well as the main fly sheet and a curtain which you can pull over the window in the door. The whole door and the fly sheet and the little net zip to the side rather than the top like most tents, which I think is an interesting feature, something a little bit different. Over this side we can see the 2 windows. The one on the left is the secondary door. So it has a curtain to cover the window and also the net as well, which you can pull down and zip around to seal the door. The net doors are great because you can have them sealed either side but allow some airflow through the tent without letting in the bugs when it's warm. Just below the door you have your EHU or electric access point. This just zips open and allows you to put the cable through. What's great about this tent is that it has one each side. That's really handy because you never quite know which side the plug's going to be. It just makes things a little bit easier. On the top of this beam you have a little hook at the top to allow you to hang a light up in the middle of the tent, and also what I think is a really handy idea is they have these little velcro straps, so you could run a cable up from your electricity point and have it strapped to the beams nicely out the way. A very clever feature. I like the style of the beams in this tent as well. Because the air beams are U-shaped, it maximises the headroom towards the side of the tent. This is one of the main improvements over the old Berghaus 8.1, which had more rounded beams. The bedrooms have little door pockets which tuck the door into at the bottom here. I think that's a clever idea. Is it nice and easy to tuck away that door when you're having it open. Inside the bedrooms it has a little storage area on the left. I think that's always handy to put your phone and keys in. When you look at the door itself you can see at the top it has a net area, so you can unzip the sheet from the outside and have a net. That will let some light in, but it will allow a little more air into here. Here at the back you can see the vent. We looked at the vent on the outside and that's where you're going to get your fresh air in to keep the condensation to a minimum. They have this divider in the middle. It's not a zip seal, it just has 4 clips, so it can be taken out completely or left in. The bedrooms being blackout, it does mean that you get a little more of a lie-in in the morning before you get the full sun. They're not completely blackout. I have the same ones in my high gear tent. They don't block out the light completely, but they do make a big difference in the mornings, especially midsummer when the sun is coming up very early. The bedroom pod the other side is exactly the same. I like that the bedroom pods have a little storage area in between the two bedrooms on each side. That's quite handy for putting shoes and bits and bobs in. If you're camping for a long time, it is really handy to have lots of storage because it does allow you to keep the tent a little bit tidier. And for even more storage, this tent has handy storage areas under both windows, which I think is really clever. All the windows also have curtains, including the windows in the doors as well, which is nice so you can have privacy if you need it, but also let light into the living area if that's what you want. The living area is a decent size and nice and light with the windows open. A great feature of this tent is it has windows in the doors, so it makes this living area much lighter than similar tents with this layout that have doors with no windows, such as the Zenobia 8 tent. This is a pole tent of a similar size. I'll leave a link in the description to my review video of that tent if you want to take a look. Although this tent will sleep 8 people, I think you'd probably struggle to fit all your things in this tent neatly for an extended period of time. The bedrooms are a good size. The tent is 3 meters wide, and even accounting for the 10 centimeters you will lose each side with the internal part of the tent, the bedrooms at each end will be 280 centimeters wide, allowing for 2 air beds of 140 centimeters in each end. The bag for this tent is also a good size, and it's got to be, because this is a heavy tent that packs down into a large bag. This bag is of very good quality, and it has wheels, and you're going to need it, because the weight of this tent packed down is 32.5 kilograms. To compare that to a fiberglass pole tent of a similar size, like the Zenobia 8, that would be 24.5 kilos, and a pack size about half that of this tent. Again, I'll leave a link in the description if you'd like to look at that review. Large pack size and weight is something that affects all tents, so I can't hold it against this Berghaus Air 800, but it is something to bear in mind. This bag will fill your car boot. Included with the tent is a hand pump, enabling you to pump the tent up, an obviously essential item to have. Things that aren't included, unless you get a bundle deal, are the carpet. I think this is pretty important for longer trips. It just makes the tent a little more cosy. And something that would definitely be handy for those longer trips is a porch. An area like this would allow you to cook while protected from the elements, something that you don't have in the standard tent. The final accessory for this tent that you can get is the footprint. This essentially just goes under the tent before you peg it out, and it just keeps the bottom of the tent a bit cleaner. I don't think these are essential, but they are handy, and if you can get it in a good price in a bundle with some of the other bits, definitely worth having. But again, not essential. So to sum up, I think this is a very good quality tent with a lot of clever features, obviously designed by people who know about camping. I like the fact that it's a really good waterproof rating. You're not going to have to worry that this is going to leak. I like the fact that there's lots of storage inbuilt in the tent, under the windows and in the bedroom pods. I like the fact that the beams are U-shaped, giving you more headroom inside the tent, making it a bit more comfortable. And I like the fact that the bedrooms are nightfall bedrooms, so they keep a bit of that sunlight out a little bit later into the day. And then obviously it has all the plus points and negative points of being an air tent. I'm thinking about the possibility of putting together a video of pole versus air tents, so if that's something you'd like, let me know in the comments. If you've enjoyed the video, please do pitch up to the channel and press that subscribe button. It really makes a massive difference for me. And I have some other Berghaus Air Tent reviews coming, as well as some already on the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and happy camping.